Greetings to everyone. This is Group 8 from section CPGDM Batch 22. We are going to present the strategic analysis of over the top or the OTT industry. So, in this report, we aim to attempt to extensively cover as well as to analyze the OTT industry. We took up the topics of the industry analysis, chose two major players, Netflix and Amazon Primes, for analysis, source of their competitive advantages, the challenges faced by both of them, whether in the short term, medium, or in the long term, the growth strategies are adopted by them, and lastly, we would also see how the disruption in the entertainment sector led to the emergence of the OTT industry. Over to you, Parth.
So let's start with the industry analysis. The global OTT market size in 2019 was estimated to be $121 billion and is expected to hit $1,039 billion by 2027, rising at a staggering CAGR of 29.4%. The over-the-top, instead of a cable or satellite provider-based network, is a film and television content platform delivered by a high-speed internet connection. So in 2019, North America did the overall OTT market share as the area it was already fitted by high internet connectivity and range of providers that have already pushed onto the offering of numerous HD and 4K video streamings. But besides, the fastest CAGR, as stated by many reports, is going to be of Asia Pacific, as telecommunication companies provide their data plans with OTT services, fueling the over-the-top growth of this sector. So now talking about the impact that the COVID-19 had on the over-the-top market, the size of OTT market, as I already told, has will rise by a staggering CAGR of 29.4% by 2027. It is estimated that the new 2027 estimate is higher than the pre-COVID projections. Due to the continuously growing demand for the OTT services, the COVID-19 outbreak has had a positive effect on the growth of global OTT sector. Due to the enforced lockdown, this demand is mainly attributed to continuous growth in online communication facilities as more viewers interact via different online platforms. Moreover, in emerging economies such as India or China, the consumption of online entertainment platforms is growing significantly with a positive effect on consumer growth. Now let's talk about some critical success factors with respect to this industry. Starting with support for multiple monetization models. Premium content is rapidly starting several economic structures, including free with advertisement, direct payment subscriptions, transactional streaming, and around third-party fees and billing such as network carriers or affiliations with pay TVs. There's a need for various domains from direct billing and subscriber management to actionable analytics and comprehensive payment and advertisement ecosystem. Coming to scalability to match demand. Scalability is a watchword for success in online video, where it involves meeting consumer expectation for an ever expanding content and offering or delivering high quality experiences during peak usage of times. Delivering high quality experiences during low demand windows is very different from providing consistently satisfying results during the sudden spikes. Coming on to the comprehensive security, security maintenance requires much more than just video encryption. Rather, it is necessary to ensure that a provider implements and retains sweeping and reliable security procedures across the entire distribution of the ecosystem, beginning with physical access to network facilities and extension of logical permissions and continuous avoidance of various interferences. Paramount to every OTT service provider, the goal of increasing customer acquisition and reducing churn to drive revenue, understanding and supporting the vision of analytics by enabling deep intelligence can be translated into traditional OTT businesses with various metrics. Now over to you, Om.
Talking about the pestle analysis of the OTT industry, starting with the political. Now, for tech businesses worldwide, political forces continue to rise in importance. Like other tech businesses, streaming services providers are also subject to government regulation. In respect to their data gathering and other activities, government bodies around the world have strengthened hold on technology firms. Taxation is another area where the role of government is highlighted in the context of international technology firms. Talking about economic, in the field of international business, external considerations play a direct role as well. Higher economic growth and job levels have contributed to higher spending on recreational and entertainment activities. And the success of global economy has remained excellent over the last few years, resulting in more spending on OTT services. However, after the spread of coronavirus, patterns have shifted marginally. And although economic development has decreased globally, OTTs have seen a substantial increase in the memberships. Talking about socio-cultural, in the sense of international industry, Socio-cultural influences often play an increasingly important role and give their significance. Companies make them part of the organizational and marketing strategies. OTTs appeal to a worldwide marketplace, and as such, it is important that firms pay attention to the diverse tastes and desires of the consumers from different communities and different cultures. This is why material covering many genres and languages has to be introduced to OTTs. Now let's come to technology. A lot of growth and competitiveness in the company sector has been driven by technical variables. Technology is at the heart of business model. The emphasis on customer service is one of the most significant factors behind the exponential growth in the success of OTT platforms in the last few years. The businesses have managed to develop their user interface to offer the best in class experience for their subscribers. The big source of competitive advantage for them is technology. To recommend shows and films worth watching, they use artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, environmental factors. In the background of virtually any big organization, environmental considerations are important, and how companies influence the world has a significant effect on the social credibility and brand value. Since streaming services are firms whose industry is conducted online, these corporations do not have a clear impact on environmental. Despite this, while without consuming money, all business processes relevant to broad and multinational business cannot be run. Lastly, talking about the legal, in the context of technology and digital content sector, regulatory considerations will continue to play a significant role as regulation in the field continues to change and regulators around the world are focusing on creating a legal system to oversee the technology industry. A huge number of tech giants in the world have faced a large number of lawsuits against them, such as Amazon, Facebook, and Google have somehow involved with these kind of legal issues with the government. In case of OTT platforms, aside from the security of data, user privacy is also very important. That is why these legal things must be taken care by the government. Now, let's move on to key business matrices. First of all, it is MAU, which is the monthly active users. That is the number of users who have opened your app and interacted with your OTT service in the past month. Then customer acquisition cost, which is the CAC. The net cost of obtaining a new business is customer acquisition cost. It typically entails the expense of your sales and promotions split by the amount of clients obtained. Then average revenue per user, which is the ARPU, which estimates the amount of money from one client that you would hope to produce. CLV, customer lifetime value, is the amount of money that a person is supposed to spend during their lifetime with you. Abandon rate, that is the number of tasks abandoned by customer before the planned task is completed. Then we have churn rate, which is the number of consumers for a given time who quit your service. Lastly, engagement. Engagement tests contact with consumers and website or software. Popular measurement can include how many times an application is opened by the user, how many videos per sessions they watch, and what actions a user does within one of the digital resources. Over to Rishabh.
Now, coming to the first company we take under the OTT sector is Netflix. Netflix has grown tremendously over the years, with 167 million subscribers from around the world with paid membership in over 190 nations. It is one of the world's leading internet entertainment services. 70% of the subscribers binge watch the TV series on Netflix. Not just a TV series, it offers movies, documentaries, and feature films with various genres and languages. In 1997, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph co-founded Netflix, beginning as a DVD sale and mail rental, but after a year, they concentrated on online DVD rental services. In 2007, while maintaining its DVD rental services, Netflix launched streaming media online. In 2010, they began to broaden video streaming globally. Netflix earning tripled this year with such a global scope. But how it became so successful? Has it faced some ups and downs? For this, we look at the SWOT analysis of Netflix to address these fundamental questions. Coming to the strengths, the Netflix has a global presence and a brand name. Since its launch, it has captured the market and has been a global leader in the OTT service provider. It provides original content as well as the copyrighted content. And the most important feature it provides to the user is the ad-free binge watching. And it has the flexibility so that the user can watch it over the laptop, TV, or even the mobile phones. The weaknesses of the Netflix are increase in the operational cost. It has fewer copyright seasons and movies, and therefore, at times, it has been complained by the users that many TV shows and movies disappear from the platform. And the Netflix has been facing criticism over the lack of green energy usage. Its competitor like Amazon Prime are trying to be eco-friendly by using the green energy, and the Netflix is over dependent on the US market for the content as well as for the user. The opportunities available for the Netflix in the market are low price options in countries like India, where people prefer low pricing options such as offered by its main competitor Amazon Prime can be an opportunity for Netflix to offer a mobile only subscriptions or or a lower quality option at a lower price. It can include the regional content also, like many other competitors like Amazon Prime, Sony Live, or Disney Hotstar. It can form alliances with various service provider to offer the services to the user at a discounted price. This will increase the customer base as well as their reviews and ratings. The threats to Netflix are its competitors like Amazon Prime and Disney Hotstar in India, which provide a competitive pricing, but they are surely short on the content. But still, the pricing they provide is unbeatable, and there are many government regulations which need to be followed and which filter out the content. Digital piracy is a new threat to all the OTT platform services. The users oftenly follow the pirated route to download the TV shows and movies for free, which is a threat for OTT service providers like Netflix. And even the market saturation can be another threat. Next slide. The competitive advantage for Netflix are timing, Netflix original content, increased personalization via research and development, and global presence and branding. The key competitive strategies followed by Netflix are cost leadership strategies, differentiation strategies, and customer intimacy strategies. Over the years, Netflix has adopted various business goal strategies, which are original content, technological innovation, focus on user satisfaction, phased expansion, focus on mobile first experience, regional partnership, and marketing.
Now talking about Amazon Prime Video, it was first launched in 2006 in the United States and then globally in 2016. Since then, it has been a major marketing leader in the OTT sector. Now talking about the competitive advantage that Prime has over its competitors, the first is multiple profiles with single account. Unlike Netflix, Hotstar, and many other OTT platforms, Prime provides a platform where many users can use it at the same time. Then there is regional content and different languages where content for Prime is in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, and many other regional languages. Lastly, Prime is just more than a video on demand service. It also has same day delivery, Kindle library, Prime reading, and Audible channels. Now, looking at the market share, Prime is one of the leading market shares in India after JioCinema and Hotstar, and globally as well, it is the second largest OTT company, just after Netflix. Now, moving on to the growth strategy by Amazon Prime. Looking at the growth strategy of Prime, the first is the original content that it provides for its customers. Then, as we have talked about the fact that it is more than just a video on demand service, also it allows its customer to sign up on add-on channels like HBO, CBS, Showtime, and many more channels. Then there is the innovation factor. In recent years, it has developed Fire Sticks, the Fire TV, which has basically replaced the TV from people's homes. Other thing that it has launched this year is the watch parties, where you can watch and stream movies and shows with your friends without any disruptions. Then there is the compatibility over multiple devices, which is provides. You can watch movies, shows on your mobile, laptop, tabs, TV, and any other electronic device. Lastly, the new content that it keeps on providing for the consumers based on their region and their preferences. Now, coming on to the SWOT analysis of the company and looking at the strengths, The first is the free membership with the Prime membership. Unlike Netflix or Hotstar or any other OTT company, you can buy the Prime membership, Prime Video membership with just Prime membership. Then there is the brand awareness. Other companies have to build a brand over time, but that was not the case for Amazon. It already had a brand name which it used to its good effect. Then there is the sports streaming, which it has started in recent years, where it has completely changed the dynamics for its company and provided content for new audience. Lastly, the IMDb database, which it has used for its benefit and provided the consumers with data about the movies and series. Now, the weaknesses of the company. There have been certain issues with the platform's UI and the content, which has been more or less mediocre on some occasions. Then there is the original content promotion. Netflix has fallen behind in the marketing for its content. Now, looking at the opportunities for the company can use the data it has to develop a recommendation engine which is better than the current engine. Then it can, with the funds available with the company, it can develop its audience in new areas and put more funds in the original content. Lastly, the threats for the company, as any other company, are its competitors like Netflix, Hotstar, JioCinema, Hulu, etc. Then there is the issue of piracy, which has been a major threat to the OTT sector from the beginning. And lastly, the regulations, where the government has many times interfered with certain shows that do not go with the regulations of the country and in particular a region. Now Rajat will take over.
So, talking about the disruption in entertainment sector, emergence of over-the-top platform. The rise of OTT networks has changed the entertainment industry. It is motivated by the rise in living standard, the evolution of smartphones, widespread and inexpensive internet access, expanded penetration in the rural areas, and changing consumer tastes. In a real sense, quality is now king, and it is tailored and offers opportunities for broader dissemination of attention. A new study from the Boston Consultancy Group forecasts that India's OTT market is currently pegged at $0.5 billion and is set to rise to $5 billion by 2023. The main drivers that have driven the OTT revolution in India are affordability and comfort. In addition to providing live entertainment, which has continued to catch eyeballs, it is notable that some OTT players have created original shows and films. The emergence of OTT outlets has created anxiety among the filmmakers that this could be the theoretical experiences that need. It is now not unusual to find certain films opting to meet the appropriate target demographic on the OTT path. Video streaming services have undoubtedly made it expensive, easy, and open to watch movies on the go, particularly for those who enjoy binge watching. Now over to Jatin.
So now, the coexistence of both theaters and OTT channels can be foreseen in the long run due to their importance to a specific content format. On weekdays, most individuals watch OTTs and watch movies over the weekend. However, it cannot be ignored that for a form of entertainment such as horror films, the technological revolution would define theater. The technological revolution would define theater. To seek an overall cinematic experience with a high volume of VFX and 3D, spend time with families and friends, the viewers is likely to attend the cinema. New age viewers are constantly searching for the material that is fresh, connected, and interactive, and can shed an extra penny to pursue a truly transformative experience. This consumer service will continue to occupy the entertainment industry's center stage. Therefore, exaggerating the influence of OTT channels and equating it to the demise of the movie theaters watching is grossly inaccurate. So it's fair to say that consumers today prefer the multitude of choice on the menu. So I hope the video was insightful, and please leave us the feedback in the comment section. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye.